of these, all the known standard different celestial movements that we are talking about, there are also certain other curious celestial movements which we find evidence of if we go back in history. For instance, we now know, of course, the whole solar system dynamics. So we have the moon going around the earth, earth going around the sun, and the spin axis of the earth tilted with respect to the orbital plane of the earth, and so on. All these things, just 2 or 3 different bodies, but a little bit of geometry of this kind gives rise to so much richness of events that we can see. So one of them, sometimes when a particular object, because moon is the closest celestial neighbor to us, sometimes a particular object might move behind, appear to move behind the moon and reappear again. In these kind of occultations, there is also an additional richness of periodicities, that if the moon happens to occult a particular celestial object this year, let's say, at a given time, the same year repeatedly, it's quite possible that there might be such lunar occultations of the same object. And there are evidences, if we see, actually in the Puranic lore in India, which actually seem to have noticed this, where there's a talk of how moon spends more time with his favorite wife Rohini, and so on. And then there is a whole mythological story around that. But definitely this seems to give a clue that this had been noticed during the times when this lore developed, and so on. There is going to be so many such explorations that we could do, mixing history and positional astronomy as such. Well, another interesting aspect is when we look at the annual movement of the planets against the background of the zodiac, we notice some very interesting, and most amateur astronomers would have had maybe done this observation once just with their naked eyes. All they need is patience and go out and keep looking at known objects in the sky and look at movement of a particular planet. That to Mars, if we see. Observe it over some time, and it seems to be relative to the background of the stars, move relatively west to east. Move that way, continue to move that way, and then stop, turn back, make a loop in the sky, and go back again. So this kind of a motion of the planets, peculiarities of their movements were again noticed, most certainly they were noticed by the ancients. In fact, the name planets came from that. Come to later times, we have that's the motion of Mars that we can see, which shows this retrograde-like motion, and this is very beautifully symbolized by Kalidasa in his play Malvika Agnimitram, where he refers to this retrograde motion of Mars in a kind of a simile. Once again, just like Shakespeare, Kalidas also, if you take here, comes at a much later period than the ancients, noticing all of these. And yet, it's just that any one of us who looks at these and then makes these observations or measure these, we find the same inspiration which they found. Of course, they could express these so much better than perhaps what we can do. But just by looking at this interdisciplinary kind of a celebration or love for astronomy, if you see all creative spirits would have been inspired by astronomical events. Of course, what happens is that most of this was positional astronomy, because that's what is accessible to everybody. So that's how we find that it's celebrated in literature, in arts, in sculpture, in paintings, and so on. We'll see a few more examples soon.